You would think people would learn from history, and I'm not talking ancient history. I'm talking fairly recent history. Stuff that everyone should easily know about or have heard about. What happens when someone, country goes socialist? At first, usually it's because there was some kind of revolution in the country and a leader stands out and, well, socialist policies for everybody. Great, yeah, he's cheered on. The people want him. And then it just starts slowly going to hell in a handbasket. And that hell in a handbasket country I'm talking about right now, as you probably guessed, is Venezuela. SHTFplan.com. Danielle Lang. Or is it Danielle Lang? Why we have a Second Amendment. Keep that in mind. This is why we have it. And don't ever forget it. Oh, gun control, man. The schools, we gotta keep the school. We can't let people have assault rifles. We gotta take, you can have little pea shooters. Well, hold on. If the government ever comes after people, are they gonna be using pea shooters? No, they're gonna have assault rifles. Then in that case, the people need assault rifles. That's how that goes. Which is why the Second Amendment doesn't say anything about the type of weapon. You must have a gun, period. That's what it talks about. Not you must have it, but you are allowed to have it. Why we have a Second Amendment. Venezuela plans to give firearms to loyalists so they can purge the growing resistance to Nicolas Maduro. Again, Chavez, his predecessor, unbelievable. You have Chavez come in the picture. Again, socialist paradise. He dies of a fast-moving cancer shortly after returning the country's gold from the banksters in the United States and London. Maduro takes over. And actually, I think I called him the predecessor, whatever. And he takes what his former, and didn't they say, wasn't it him? And it may say it in this article. He used to be a bus driver. I don't know if it was him or Chavez. One of them used to be a bus driver. Oh, totally qualified. Unbelievable. Anyways, after enduring shortages of food and medicine for years now, as well as a total collapse of their currency, the people of Venezuela have had enough. Last week, it was estimated that 2.5 million people marched against the Maduro regime, which had previously tried to strip away the powers of the opposition-led parliament. It's estimated that as many as 6 million people may have taken to the streets to protest throughout the country. In the lead up to the protest, which had been planned for weeks by opposition political parties, President Maduro issued an alarming proclamation that didn't receive nearly enough press. He promised to expand the nation's armed militia and hand out firearms to as many as 400,000 loyalists. The Bolivarian militias, currently at approximately 100,000, were created by the late Hugo Chavez to assist the armed forces in the defense of his revolution from external and domestic attacks. Speaking to thousands of militia members dressed in beige uniforms gathering in front of the presidential palace, Maduro said that vision remains relevant as Venezuela continues to face imperialist aggression. A gun for every militiaman, he cried. And you know what I would do? Guys, thousands and thousands of us, we're going to become loyalists. If I was over there in Venezuela, we're going to become loyalists. Hang on. We're going to become loyalists. We're going to cheer at this guy. We're going to become militia. He's going to give us the weapons. And when we have enough members, we flip-flop. And we take over. And we get our country back. And we give it back to the people. That's what you need to see happen here. If you know your history of communist regimes, you understand what comes next. Maduro's response to millions of hungry, pissed-off people is to arm his diehard supporters, who will be able to purge the starving masses that dared to cross him. They may not face much resistance because in 2012, Venezuela banned private firearm ownership. Is it not incredible? It's a blueprint. You could follow the blueprint no matter where you go on this planet. And when they come to get your firearms, it's only a short matter of time after that that you're going to need them to take back your country, and you won't be able to. But during the time, you're not going to really see any major issues. I mean, we're talking 2012. We're almost halfway through 2017 now. In 2012, Chavez was still around. I mean, everything was good. I don't think he got the gold back yet. I mean, life was good over there. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Why would they all of a sudden ban private firearm ownership? Because they know how the future, what's coming in the future. Because they have the numbers. They see them. You know, I'm talking to economics and stuff. They see what's happening, and they see the trend, and they know there's gonna be a bunch of starving people here in the near future. And if we don't deal with this now, we don't stand a chance in hell of remaining in power when this happens. That's why I always tell you the government will do everything in advance that they need to do to protect themselves and make sure their status quo continues. But everything else, like crashing economies, crashing stock market, oh, we didn't see it coming, we didn't know. We didn't know. Sure you didn't. Venezuela has brought a new gun law into effect which bans and this is from then, bans the commercial sale of firearms and ammunition. Until now, anyone with a gun permit could buy guns or arms from a private company. Under the new law, only the army, police, and certain groups like security companies will be able to buy arms from the state-owned weapons manufacturer and importer. The ban is the latest attempt by the government to improve security and cut crime ahead of elections in October, they say. Venezuela saw more than 18,000 murders last year, and the capital, Caracas, is thought to be one of the most dangerous cities in all of Latin America. Do you see how that works? Maduro's socialist policies turned that country into a crime-ridden hellhole and eventually turned their capital city into the most violent in the world, according to this link, which is, who's that? Wikipedia, list of cities by murder rate. Let's open that up real quick. Let's take a look here, in case you want to see. What's number one? What is number one? Homicides 2016. 4,308. Population, 3.3 mil. Homicides per 100,000 people, 130. 130 people die each year per 100,000. Wow. Next one, Acapulco, Mexico. Quick look surprised. Honduras, not shocked at all. Again, Mexico. Another one from Venezuela. El Salvador, Venezuela. I mean, Venezuela's got 4 in this of the top 10. The top 10, Venezuela is king of the crop. Next, interestingly, Brazil, another country that's failing pretty hard. But if you just look down, you've got Venezuela, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see, 7. 7 times is on this out of the list of 50. Wow. Brazil's in there a lot, though. If you look at the, look at the next one. Country. Number of cities by country represented in the table. Brazil, number of cities, 19. Interestingly enough, USA is in there. Detroit, New Orleans, Baltimore, St. Louis. That's it for us. What about Chicago? I mean, how the hell is Chicago not in here? What is this? Unbelievable. Since when would you ever think, the world's beacon of democracy, we want everyone to be like us, everyone wants to come here, they want to live the American dream, we have it the best, we have the best of everything, this is the best country, you can live the American dream, nowhere else can you do this. And we're on that list 4 times. Is that right? Yeah, 4 times. We're on that list 4 times. That just so happens to be the 4th. We are the 4th. We are in 4th place on that list. There's 10 countries. We're number 4. And we happen to have 4 cities also that are on this list. But, wow. Anyways, and eventually they turned their capital city into the most violent in the world. Instead of abandoning their centrally planned economy, which would bring prosperity to all and lower the crime rate, Maduro took away everyone's guns. Although, was it Maduro? I mean, has he been? Or was that recently? Because it's saying from 2012. Hold on, I gotta get some facts straight here. Nicolas Maduro. Previously, he served under President Hugo Chavez as Minister of Foreign Affairs. Okay, now we know why he got the position, which was from 2006 to 2013, and as Vice President of Venezuela from 2012 to 2013. A former bus driver, Maduro rose to become a trade union leader. Before being elected to the National Assembly in the year 2000, he was appointed to a number of positions within the Venezuelan government under Chavez, ultimately being made foreign minister in 2006. He was described during this time as the most capable administrator and politician of Chavez's inner circle. After Chavez's death was announced on March 5th, 2013, Maduro assumed the powers and responsibilities of the president. A special election was held on 14th of April to elect a new president back in 2013, and he won with 50.62% of the votes as the candidate of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela. He was formally inaugurated on April 19th. Since being president, he has ruled Venezuela by decree for the majority since November 19th, 2013. As a result of Chavez's policies and Maduro's continuation of them, Venezuela's socioeconomic status declined, with crime, inflation, poverty, and hunger increasing. Shortages in Venezuela and decreased living standards resulted in protests beginning in 2014, which are, again, 2014, 15, 16, 17, it's 3 years now these have been going on, with the largest one that just happened. So, Maduro took away everyone's guns. Now that his socialist policies are bringing Venezuela's population to brink of starvation and revolution, he decides to arm his violent and dim-witted loyalists. He has set up the perfect conditions for a genocidal purge of everyone who opposes him. I'd say that this would be a fine lesson for any would-be socialists in this country, but they don't seem eager to learn. Neither did many Venezuelans who elected these control freaks nearly 2 decades ago. They could have looked at any socialist experiment from the 20th century and realized that it always leads to starvation and mass murder. Instead, they let themselves be conned by what is now the oldest and most deadly political trick in the book. And again, that's socialism. Free this, free that, subsidize this. Yeah, socialism, man. It's good for everybody. 50-point-something% voted. Here we look at 51-49. It was literally 50-50. So the other half of the country now is saying, you idiots, look, we were starving to death, the crime rates are up, we're killing each other because you other 50 morons, percent of the population. Then again, what if the votes are rigged? You know, they always like to keep it a close race so that you think, oh, it was so close, maybe next time we'll get them. Well, that's funny. There's not going to be a next time now. Because he took your guns. He stopped, they're supposed to hold these elections. He's pretty much stopped that. What else are you going to do? Do what the other South Americans do. Go out in the streets and bang on some pots and pans. That'll work. That'll always get the job done. People. Sheeple people. They never learn. And the sad part is we have to rely on each other, which means these people. So all the people who are for Bernie Sanders, oh yeah, socialist, yeah. Boy, were they ready for him. Good thing we didn't get him or Clinton. Anyways. But then again, looking at what's going on with Trump right now, I still think we got the best of the three, but not going to say I'm all that happy right at this moment. I still want to give the guy a little bit more time to see what he does, but who knows? Take care.